Dear students, today we are going to discuss construction of Ogives. In this problem, they asked to construct Ogives by using the following data. What do you mean by Ogives? It is a graphical presentation. That means you are using graph and that you are going to present. Okay, graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution. Cumulative frequency distribution are of two types: less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency. If you represent less than cumulative frequency starting with the upper limits of a class, then it is called as less than Ogives. In a similar manner, if you are going to represent, that is graphical representation of more than cumulative frequency, starting with the lower limits of a class, then it is called more than Ogives. So here they asked to construct Ogives. So we have to use both less than and more than Ogives. Okay, now let us make a solution table or prepare a solution table for constructing less than and more than Ogives. Before we represent on graph, we have to find out less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency for constructing less than Ogives and more than Ogives. So here what I am going to do, less than Ogives, you are going to represent less than cumulative frequency against upper limits. So what we have to write here, less than, upper limits means less than 20 you have to consider, then less than 40, less than 60. So in this manner you have to consider upper limits. So here for marks, for constructing less than Ogives, under marks we are going to consider less than 20, less than 40, less than 60, less than 80, less than 100. Whenever you are going to calculate less than cumulative frequency, here you can see less than 20 is number of students are 6. Less than 40 means less than 20 is also included under less than 40. So you have to consider both. So you have to make a zigzag addition of this. 6 plus 5, you will get a 11. Less than 60. Less than 60 means you have to consider all this because 40, 20 is also less than 60. So we have to add, for 11 you have to add 33, or all these three frequencies you have to add. So what we are going to get? 44. 44 plus 14, because we have to represent less than 80. Less than 80 means all four frequency you have to consider. So 44 plus 14, you are going to get, how much you are going to get? So 58. 58 plus, if you are going to add 6, you are going to get a 64. That is less than 100 means less than 100 all number of students. That means complete students or total students has to be considered. For constructing more than Ogives, under marks, as I told, more than Ogives is nothing but a representation of more than cumulative frequency against or starting with the lower limits. So lower limits means you have to consider more than 0, more than 20, more than 40. In this lower limit is 60, so you have to construct more than 60. Here is 80, so you have to write more than 80. So here more than 0, more than all those students who got marks more than 0 means everyone you have to include. So I am going to take a total, that is 64. All those students who got more than 20 means less than 20 we have to exclude. That means you have to deduct 6 number of students who got less than 20, because we are considering more than 20. So more than 20 means 64 minus 6 if you do, you are going to get 58. In similar manner, more than 40 means you have to remove even 5 students who got less than 40 or between 20 to 40. So 58 minus 5 if you do, you are going to get a 53. From 53 you have to deduct 33, because here we are going to consider more than 60. Those students who got more than 60, and if you deduct 33 students, then you are going to get a 20. So more than 80, if you consider more than 80, if you deduct 14, because less than 80 we should not consider, or between 60 to 80 we are not going to consider. So you have to deduct 14. So 20 minus 40 means how much you are going to get? You are going to get a 6. So more than 80 is 6 students. So this is the solution table. You have to prepare like this. Now on graph we are going to mark the class intervals, and against the class intervals we are going to mark less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency. On graph I am going to take on x-axis 1 centimeter equal to 20 students. On y-axis I will be taking 1 centimeter as 10 marks. Here I am going to use pen, but you have to use pencil because I want to show this one, so it has to be bright. So I am using here a pen. So on x-axis I will be taking marks which is in class interval of the width of 20, 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. And if you consider number of students, as I told, on y-axis I will be taking 1 centimeter equal to 10 marks. So I will be marking like here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, because highest value is 64 in a cumulative more than and less than cumulative frequency. So number of students, as it is 64, I am going to take up to 70 on y-axis. So here you have to write number of students. What you have to write? Number of students. After marking x-axis and y-axis, you have to represent the values. So first you can see here. So if you observe this one, see here, if you observe this value, less than 20. If you observe here, less than 20. Less than 20, how many? 6. Less than 20, less than 20, 6. Here is 5 because 10 I have taken. So each millimeter represents 1 mark. So I am going to represent here 1 student. Okay, each millimeter represents 1 student. So less than 20 marks, there are 6 students. So I am going to mark here. After 0.5, 0.6 I will be considering. Less than 40 is 11. Less than 40 is 11. Here is 10, and the next line millimeter is the 11. Next, less than 60 is 44. So less than 60 is 40. 44 means less than, that means after 40 you have to take a 4th line. Then less than 80, that is 58. Less than 80 is 50. Here is 50, 55, 56, 57, 58. You have to mark it like this. Then less than 100 is 64. Less than 100 is 64. Here is 60, 65. Below that you have to mark 64. After marking like this, you have to join all these dots with the help of a scale. Use it properly because ogives are used to find even median. So each dot has to be joined by using scale in a proper manner. So join all these dots with the help of a scale. Use pencil. I am using here pen. So name it as less than Ogives. Okay, after this you have to mark more than Ogives. For marking more than Ogives, here you can see the frequencies or number of students. More than cumulative frequency will be marked. More than 0 is 64. More than 0 is 64. More than 20 is 58. More than here is 20. More than 20 is 58. Here is 50, 55, 56, 57, 58. Then more than 40. More than 40 is 53. More than 40 is here. And more than 40 is 53. Here is 50. 53 means less than or after 50, 51, 52, 53. Third line you have to consider. Then more than 60 is 20. More than 60 is 20. And more than 80 is 6. So 6 means more than 86. Here is 5. Next one. 6 millimeter. 0.6 you have to consider, and you have to use scale to join all these dots. Okay, here is the 64 and join this dot and join the next one. Use it properly, the scale, and join it. When you join this one, when the two ogives, that means less than and more than ogives intersect, from that point, if we extend towards the x-axis, then you can find out the median. From here, I will be extending. So this is the midpoint where both the ogives will be intersect. And from this point, if we join a line, a vertical line to x-axis, and this will be the median. And it is at, this is 40, then it is 50, 52. I can consider this as a 52, and that is a median. Okay, this point, whatever the value it takes, that will be the median. So ogives are helpful in finding the median. So this is how you have to construct. And for first PUC exam, it is important for 6 marks. How many marks, students? For 6 marks it is important. So like this you have to construct. If you like, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.